Okay, so my name is Ty Picard. Got married to this guy who I don't live with. Makes $40 an hour. Cannot pay for first and last month's rent. Is not saving no money. Has an investment in something that Google says is not a wise investment. But since Trump and Bill Gates have it, which if it's a bad investment, it's not hurting them. They can do whatever they want with or without that investment. So, he's white, he's English, he is raised with a golden spoon. He has a family that disowned him when they found out he was a homosexual and kicked him out. Disinherited him. So he had to be homeless, live on the street, sell his ass, eat whatever he can get a job, put himself through nursing school, and work. And he said he's done a bunch of things he's not proud of, but his sister was adopted, which he never told me. And he said he married his sister. Okay, he lied about his age, which I don't care. But he lied about where he works. He used to work at Avant Health, allegedly, in Sebring, but he called me from his job, and he's working at Good Shepherd Hospice House, which is okay. But he's telling me every night that he has someone else die in the ER, because he works in the ER, or in the ICU, and I need to stop smoking. And he's taking me to doctor's appointments. He gave me health insurance. I was working at the time, but I was also living with a sex offender that he had child pornography on his computer, which the police said they could not verify the child's age, which is bullshit, because she was literally underage, topless, with undeveloped breast. But whatever. They came and took all of the stuff out of the house, electronic devices. And I told them that if listening to and reading the stories from Nifty are against the law, then let me know. They said it's not. So I was like, okay. I was like, because I was abused growing up. And I didn't know nothing about sex offenders until I moved in over here. And he told me, and I Googled it. And now, he has child porn on his computer. And I mean, come on, how dumb are you? You really got caught for your stuff. And got arrested, confiscated your stuff, got out, did the same thing, and got in trouble for that shit again, I think. And went to prison for 15 years. But I mean, we role play. I'm used to being a submissive, faggot, little cocksucker, used and abused, because I don't really remember the beginning, but as my adopted dad told me that he has been abusing me since I was about 1 year old, and his real son was born, and my mom was taking care of him, so he stepped up to take care of me. But then she left him because he was molesting my sisters, or my oldest sister, and trying to molest my other one. And my sister left at 14 and went to community college and graduated and doing pretty good. But I didn't realize that being abused from him, I mean, I don't even remember. I remember going back to his house whenever he got custody, and my mom let us go. And we were all happy because he had money and we could eat whatever we want, not be on welfare, get clothes and shoes and stuff for school without having to scrape up pennies to make it happen, or use family. So then, basically, he got me there. He switched out the bunk beds to 2 adjustable hospital type beds, and made me sleep with him a lot of nights, just so he could molest me. And and I was about 5 then, and I just got used to it. Got used to not having a gag reflex and being used like that. So I masturbate to these stories like vicariously. I know not to put someone underage through that shit because I know what it's like. But it's hard. I jerk off all the time. I've only had an orgasm one time fucking somebody. And I was 10 years old. And I've been jerking off ever since. And I've had sex with my one boyfriend. I made him come. But I didn't come because I'm just not used to lubrication and that, because I was jerking off with lotions and stuff, and then I finally started jerking off with nothing because I ran out of lotion and I put shampoo on it and went to school, and when I came back, burning, skin was irritated coming off, and then I had stopped using lotion. And Mom never made a big deal about my sexuality. I dated some girls in school, but I just like to jerk off. And then I moved out here to Florida with my grandpa. And I was attracted to him, hooked up with him, and he died a couple months later. But he got me on the internet. They got me a job, got me my license. And I was devastated when he died because he was just perfect. So Patrick is living at his manager's house, sleeping on the couch with her gay son that just moved back in. She doesn't care about him taking stuff from work because it's not inventory. But he did get fired, saying that some patient requested medicine, but they did not get their medicine, so he got fired because of that bullshit. But I was sleeping in the parking lot at his job, far out, away from the cameras, for a while. I've been homeless since 2023 Thanksgiving, and I've been sleeping on the streets most of that time. I have a tenant, and then they got no trespassing on the place I had my camp at. So then I just left my tent and everything there and started over. But child sex abuse material is just something that I like. It's wrong, but for me, I am the submissive child in the story, and I've had sex with so many of my mom's boyfriends and husbands that, seriously, I just live vicariously through that. And I prefer not to have sex with people. Like my friend's son, in 2011, they came to Moorhaven to visit us, and they were sleeping in our room, and I got up to play video games, and their son got up, and he was just sitting there bouncing on my lap, like wiggling, and I was like, no, I had to pick him up because A, I have ED, B, I don't know, I don't want to be the first one. I don't want to make you gay, but I'm sure he was butthurt about that, but he doesn't really know, and I really couldn't explain to him, like, dude, it's too big, I have ED, and I don't really have sex with people, and I don't care to have my dick sucked, I just jerk off. And I am just completely satisfied with that, which is kind of sad, but sure. So, I don't know what's really going on. I know that there is the dissemination factor, because I got high and I decided to do this when my dad was in jail for some stupid reason, why his wife had gave me her laptop after she had set it up for me. Shared all my favorites with her. Made me a new email, ty.picard.33870. And she was supposed to get my W-2s paycheck stubs, but she never even did that. She was literally remote spying on me from her laptop in her bedroom, staying up all night when I was staying up. I literally got back on drugs after I met Patrick when my friend came back into town. And she was literally like 3 blocks away from me. So I went over there to hang out. Daddy was in jail and started getting high and just obsessed with sex offenders. They remind me of my father figures, and you know, it's pretty sad, but it's true. And the world is just turning everyone against sex offenders for whatever reason. I mean, if you really do continuously sexually abuse somebody, then that's wrong, and then, yeah, you should probably be disliked. But they got everyone worked up with this pedophilia stuff, and it's been going on for thousands of years. It's part of the way life was until they started slowly but surely changing everything and making the age of consent and all these laws and rules, and started to put this matrix around us. And everyone's just believing in all these things and turning against people, and it's breaking the world apart while the Freemasons are in control and still have more to unleash on us. I mean, like Puff Daddy, he literally was given his position to take over for the people that were doing it. Like the Jeffrey Epstein that knew that the internet and all this stuff was about to be blown up. It's only a matter of time, so let's get out. And I'm sure that's pretty much why Biggie Smalls and Tupac were killed, because they probably were not down with human trafficking and all that bullshit. And the Illuminati shotgun shells all through my body, and they literally killed him like his song lyrics. And Suge Knight set him up, and it's pretty fucked up, but it is literally the fucked up way that the world is created by these Masons. And they repeat history because that's their playbook. They just keep repeating it. They literally came from like Egyptian time, but I'm pretty much certain that Socrates and all those Greeks started this ideal, and the Egyptians just had it better set up for the rich to control society and make us their slaves. So we're still slaves in this system. And we'll continue to be slaves and have this division as long as they keep on getting more Freemasons, turning anyone, almost anybody, into a fucking agent. And if you're not even an agent, just by polluting your mind with all the shit through the internet, and now you're pretty much brainwashed into thinking a certain way, going with the whole Trump thing. And he's a convicted felon. He's a Freemason, just like all these rich lawyers, politicians, police, judges, 1%ers. The deep state is really the fucking Freemasons. Deep state is the shadow government, I would say. And they've been going around here getting everyone to join up their team, putting their lodges everywhere, so that they can play both sides and decide what is the best interest of them and what they want to do, and work it out that way while having these wars, intentionally sacrificing human after human for really no reason, just creating problems so they can say that they're creating the solution, like the war on drugs. That was just to break down the Black Panther movement and the segregation that had been lifted and turned it into a drug thing, which now corrupted more than just the blacks, and started to bring the world down because they intentionally set this all up to happen so that they can have more control while we're all lost, confused, dazed, stoned, building these privatized prisons and stuff, because now they know that they're going to need these and incarcerate blacks and pick on them the most. But it's just too much. I was listening to this guy on Facebook. I forgot what his name was, but he was talking about how all this stuff started, and the whites that were low class and in trouble got shipped off over here to be slaves. And then they turned the black people into slaves after that. People that were probably already over here, and they went and got some ships and brought some people over here and breeded them. And finally we have this mass confusion. Don't know who my real daddy is. Don't know what my real last name is. Don't know where I really come from. Just know that all this stuff was created by the Freemasons. And it's never going to stop because they don't want it to stop. They really want to get rid of the human population, bring it down to some ridiculous 500,000. When there's more Freemasons than that, so all you all are just puppets if you're not really rich and really into the top of the Freemason ladder where they don't believe in God. But they use all this stuff like religion as another form of slavery. And it gets a lot of people. I mean, you literally got the human crusades, right? Or the Christian crusades. Where they went around killing people, torturing them to believe in their fucking Christ and all this. And come to find out, my husband that's part Jewish, German, can speak French and German, English, and Spanish, told me that Jews in Jerusalem reject the whole Christ thing. And I didn't realize that. So then you could just tell that this is some bullshit. If they're rejecting it, then something's not right. But hate me if you want. Alright. I'm not perfect. I didn't realize that my growing up would lead me into a downward spiral of drugs, memory loss, and what is that? PTSD and confusion and homosexuality and this whole fucking bullshit that I have no control over because they make it out of control. And now they're blowing it all up to make us more evil and turn everyone against these people, make them homeless, which fucks up the world even more in their favor. And now we are going to have to just wait until we die because the Freemasons aren't fixing shit. They don't care to fix shit. And they're happy with this fucked up world because they're the agents of the system that created the Matrix, the architects, and they're doing just fine. They have their pawns, and they know when they're going to make their moves, so they know what to do to be a step ahead, to tell their people that they really care about. And I'm pretty sure they're going to go with World War III and shoot off some nukes, probably destroy freaking North Korea and some of Russia, while getting America attacked somewhat, and then the rest of the world will probably stay out of it, and maybe Jerusalem will get some, but I doubt it. They literally have enough technology to go and combat all these missiles, never have to send anyone to war, and all the people that were in war, that raped and murdered, are basically sex offenders, but they're heroes if they survive, and they're praised for their service, even though they have PTSD, and they got away with some crazy stuff, and the right to kill. And then they have religion, which forgives you of all your sins. So it is what it is. I can't explain it anymore. You think I'm crazy, you don't believe me, but it's the life I live. And all I want to do is jerk off. And if writing some stories from my childhood and incorporating fantasy into them, some other stories is breaking the law, because they just created it, and that's what it is. Now they're going to lock me up for this whole time, put me in jail with Freemasons, where I'll be raped and abused somewhere. And probably stabbed, and but most of you will be like, yeah, you deserve it. Like my fake ass husband, who I don't believe, but whatever.